I took approach after last year that if I can't adjust, it's time to get out, basically. And I'm not saying we've adjusted great. I'm not going to change how we coach them from, 2 to 4:30 every day or anything like that. But I do think the approach has to be changed. I told our guys, I said, uh uh, they asked me uh what do I hope to get out of this, or how do I hope players view me? And I think the only thing I could come up with, I think I know what wins. I think I know values that win. But how can I keep those same values? How can I still be old school and be hip and cool? And I don't know that I could ever get there, but my mindset has changed a little bit where I'm 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 uh, I'm not looking at it just as how screwed our business is I'm looking at it, this is the way it is, and every business that anybody's involved with over the course of time, there's going to be drastic change, and you have to adjust regards to that business. This will level out. Like, it's wild, wild west now. It is what other coaches say right now, because I'll say the same thing. But I do think it'll level out. I do think the guardrails at some point in time will get back on to the point where we all know uh, uh, what we're operating with. Because right now, I don't know that any coach out there actually knows what they're operating with. Is rev share going into effect? Is it not? Is NIL going to be true NIL? Or are we still going to have donor involvement? Whatever it is, it is. But it'd be nice to know that if just kind of what they anticipate it being, because what the NCAA has said that they anticipate it being, I'm not saying it can't be that eventually, but I don't know if that's going to be that in the time frame in which they initially stated.
Coach, do you feel like you still can coach your guys as hard as you maybe did 10 years ago with NIL, with the portal, with just the way that things have changed? Like, how has your approach to coaching guys hard? Because I know you do. Like, I've seen your shoot arounds, I've seen the way you guys operate. You do coach them hard, but what is different today?
Uh, Verbiage. In all honesty, I think that kids still want to be coached. I still think great players want to get better. I still think that there's a hunger that exists, that kids still yearn for accountability and for discipline. I do think that is expected within your team if you have a good team and you have good leadership. I think that's expected. So that was my point earlier. How do I coach them just as hard, the same way we've always been, but do it in a way where maybe it doesn't feel the same way. As a young coach, I think that we want more control. Like, I want to run a play to score. As an older coach, you know what? I want players that can go score. I think there's kind of a thing where the older you get, you actually trust your players more to go out and play within the way that you've taught them to play, as opposed to running plays to designate how they play. And I think your teams have a far better chance of being successful when you do that. And I think that we've done that over time. I mean, I would never believe that some of the shots that we take now we would have taken back in '05 or '06. And have me not even say a word. I'm worried more about the 3, 4, and 5 man that don't go to the glass than I am whether or not the shot goes in or not, or how we get back or whatever. I've always thought it was a good or bad shot when it left your hand. But I don't know when I was really a young coach if I actually believed it. Maybe I just said it. And now I actually believe more. So I trust my players more. So I do think players enjoy playing for us more than they did when it was a little bit more regimented. But I still don't think players at all will want to sacrifice the process, the day-to-day grind, because those are badges of honor that you wear your whole life.
Sure.
And you may not know it while you're going through it, but as soon as you finish it, you're like, man, I'm glad we went through that. No coach likes dealing with problems. But I will tell you this: no coach enjoys fixing them more than what we do. I mean, nobody enjoys fixing them more. Uh, it's a different world. Uh, uh, but I don't think I'm going to coach the guys different. I think I may interact with them differently, where maybe it's their idea of what we do. All right, guys, how quick can we do this? How well can we do this? How long can we go with not allowing the ball to touch the paint off the bounce, a catch or a rebound? And with that, what's the punishment if we can't do this? Well, if we can't do this, coach, we got to do this. Okay, well, you just determine what we're doing, as opposed to me being the jerk to determine what what. So I think I'm trying to give guys more ownership.